many beings. Now for that, okay, from tomorrow onwards I'm going to practice it. No, this is not the connotation. From your side, start from the charity begins at home. Charity begins at home. Start from your home, right? Usually you may easily shout at your wife, to your husband, to your children, stop it, right? Try to be reasonable. Try to, give reasons. When you say something, don't do it, try to explain this well, gently, right? So first start from there. Continue the love, start from your family. Then try to expand it. Okay, what will get rid of all the miseries? Right? Get rid of the ego. Get rid of the ego. Right? Ordinary people, we say that if the ego is 50%, if the ego is less than 50%, we say, oh, this person doesn't have ego. Right? What I'm talking about ego here is the self-referential ego. I am more important than others. That is what I'm referring to as the self-referential ego. Try to make it less. As to make it less, unnecessary fears will drop. Unnecessary irritation will drop. Right? These two things, if you can keep in mind, to the best you can, charity begins at home. Be kind to your family members. From there you start. Right? And then, try to reduce your self-referential ego to the best you can. Right? If these two things you can do, and then keep expanding your learning. Keep expanding your learning. Right? Dharma friends of Israel, Lira, and all the volunteers, they've been working so hard to, bring teachers. In fact, I was telling the Gilala many years ago that there's no point for me to come there because there are so many, you're inviting so many good teachers, and there are so many places, even in India, where you don't find teachers going there, right? So and then they are really putting so much effort. So from that point of view, people who are associated with Dharma Friends of India, you're very fortunate. You're very fortunate from that point of view. So we should be feeling grateful to them, right? And then, in other words, see how you can make the most of the activities initiated by Dharma Friends of Israel. This is so precious, right? Okay. And okay, so this is what I'd like to share with you. So we have another half an hour, right? So some questions? Yes, the Harris?
One, first of all, thank you for this weekend. I hope you come back to Israel. The question is less important. But if we can go back to the flower being objective, and how do you actually prove that the fact that it's objective means that it's also independent? I would really appreciate your explanation on this.
We done it, right?
We didn't. You said that we will need the sevenfold analysis.
No, to go into more detail, we need the sevenfold analysis, but we have, okay, let's see. So there's one sevenfold analysis, no, rejection of the seven modes, right? One, that the manage emptiness of the mind. Number two, okay, there are two big things to be done. Any other questions? Any other questions? Yes.
About what is not appropriate attention.
Okay, what is appropriate attention? What is not inappropriate attention? Okay, let's say that. Okay, I remember when I was very young. Maybe I was age, I think 12, right? Age 12, 13. Richard Gere visited our school. Just a very casual visit, not as a formal visit. And then my classmate says, Richard Gere. Who's Richard Gere? I had no clue in the first place. And he's a very famous actor, Hollywood actor. And I was so curious to look at what he's like. I saw him, and he's just an ordinary person. My father is much more handsome than him. Right? So what a fuss. My father is much more handsome than him. Okay. Then, when I was age 15, like this, then the auntie, my mother's side, my auntie, I was with her, and she was telling me about my family, my father's siblings. Then she said that your father had your father has the 7 siblings. Of the 7 siblings, your father was the eldest. And then she said that, and of the 7 siblings, your father was the ugliest. I could not believe what she was saying. And I could see that he is much more handsome than the Richard Gere, and now she's saying that she's the ugliest, he is the ugliest. And I know who the other uncles, aunties are, right? They are not as beautiful and handsome as him. But she said, and then later on when I studied the Buddhist philosophy, inappropriate attention, then I realized this is known as inappropriate attention, right? My father giving a false characteristic to this, false categorization of my father, that he's very handsome. This is the inappropriate attention. Whereas if I know that, okay, my father, I love him so much, but he's not as handsome as Richard Gere. If I leave it at that point, this is appropriate attention, right? Yeah. Huh? Okay. Any more questions? Leon, I think you have one question. No?
I want to ask.
Yes. Yeah.
About distinctions?
Yes. You want to ask? You don't want to ask it.
Okay. You give
No,
me the
up to
answer.
you.
No,
You-
you give me the answer.
You got the answer? Good. Okay. Okay. Now, because the Neta is the host here, what is the host or what do you call it? Manager. So she has the privilege. Yes. Yes.
You said the dream like the illusion, is non-conventional.
Yes.
Why is that? I didn't understand.
Okay, conventional dream and non-conventional dream. Conventional dream is how the ordinary people understand as this is dream, right? This is known as the conventional dream. Just as a conventional dream, why it's described as a dream is because your mind makes it, and then when you wake up, everything dissolves. Likewise, unconventional dream. Our self-grasping ignorance contributes to making all these phenomena come into being. When you see the emptiness directly, everything dissolves with respect to you. Then neither there is emptiness and the whole Israel stops. No, it will not stop. Israel will continue. The world will continue. With you, everything dissolves. Right? In this experience of emptiness. So that is, for you, is the awakening from the unconventional dream. We have never seen this dissolution happening since time immemorial till now. Today it is happening when you enter non-dual experience of emptiness. So that is waking up from this dream, which is not ordinary people will identify as dream. Whereas for somebody who realizes emptiness, we classify that as a form of dream. So therefore it is known as unconventional dream. And there's a difference between conventional dream and unconventional dream. In a conventional dream, cause-effect rules is not followed. In the unconventional dream, law of cause and effect applies. So properly. Yes, near. Oh no, Irit. You asked. Huh? No, Irit, yes. We still have time.
No, it's related to Er's question. So
Yes.
when you answer to him, maybe you would answer this question.
What is the question?
Related to the
7
power.
modes.
Rejecting the 7 modes. Okay. Yes, near.
Do you want to answer? I don't want to take time. I was thinking, I'm trying to convince myself that everything is an illusion in a way, dreamlike. And I'm thinking, okay, dream, I understand, because there is a dream and I wake up and everything dissolves, right? You know virtual reality. You put the glasses.
Virtual reality. Yes.
So now I'm awake, but I see illusion, and how do I know it's illusion? Because I shut the thing off and then it stops. So there's this thing of, I can shut everything off, but when I close my eyes and open again, it doesn't stop. It always continues. So I'm trying to think what's the way of, that's a
Okay.
big difference between a dream, virtual reality, and reality that is.
Very good, very good. Okay. Let's say that at the near, what I would suggest is that they say, your questions are very good. At the same time, we have to study more. You're getting it? Same, just as the machine. You stop the machine and the virtual reality stops. Right? Again, you put on the machine, again the virtual reality starts. You're getting it? Likewise, you go into the emptiness, the dreamlike stops. The wisdom of emptiness is the virtue, the machine, right? It's what stops machine. Wisdom of emptiness. The moment you come out, again the machine operates, right? So only when you become a Buddha, this machine will stop altogether. You getting it? Okay, but the fact is that the moment you go into the emptiness experience, everything dissolves. That is not what you are inventing. This is what you are discovering. This is the difference. Invent means you create it. Discover means it's a reality. We should have not realized before. Now you see this as a reality. That objectively nothing is there. This is what you are seeing, what you are discovering. Right? There's a difference between discovery and the invention. Yes, Shahan.
My question is regarding the source or the cause of conventional reality. For the lower school, like for Pashikal Tantrika, this is actually ultimate truth. For the Chitta Matra, they say this is coming from an imprint. For the Prasangika, what is the cause for conventionalities?
Okay. Did you follow the question? Say for the Vaibhashika, Southern. So those of you who are more new into this philosophy, don't worry too much. Right? One section of the Buddhist philosophers, known as Vaibhashika Sautantrika, they say that what we are seeing is real. It's not the coming from your mind. It's so real. This is known as ultimate. This is ultimate reality. Okay. Chittamatra meaning now a little more complicated philosophy, known as the mind-only school, who says that everything is just nothing but the nature of one's own mind. Right? Beyond the nature of the mind, nothing's really there. Everything's like a dream. Just as whatever the contents of dream, they're coming from your mind. Right? Everything that you see around is nothing but the reflection in your own mind or the nature of one's own mind. This is what Chittamatra says. Now the Prasangika, the highest, and in between there is Swatantrika Madhyamika. Okay, let's keep this for the time being. Prasangika Madhyamika, so for them, how do things arise? Things arise. Okay, this is quite scary to speak of, right? Things arise by the power of the many innumerable lifetimes of the imprints laid by the ignorance. Right? So because of this, then this dream is created. All these things are created. Right? Okay. Say, okay, this much, I'll say this much, I don't want to add more. Right? So what is the cause of these all conventional realities, right? Except for the ultimate reality. All the conventional realities, according to Prasangika, final version, is the innumerable imprints laid from so many lifetimes by the self-grasping ignorance. That is one which makes us to impute things, to create things. Yeah, this is the source. So this you will see very clearly explained in Bodhisattva, and of course by Acharya Chandrakirti's text, Madhyamika Avatar, and also you will see that so well explained in Bodhisattva Chandrakirti's chapter 9. Right? But of course, in the detailed steps, it will just say that this is because of the imprints of the ignorance that all these things come into being. It's quite scary. It can easily take you into nihilism. It's very scary.
And it is different from the experience of Chittamatra, which as well said...
Chittamatra is very different. Chittamatra is pretty easy because the mind is objectively real. Mind exists as truly existent. And then it's like the virtual reality. Say you have the machine is there, right? And this with the machine, when you operate it, then the virtual reality comes into being. These are nothing but the what do you call it? The image created, reflection created in this machine. It's a virtual reality. Likewise, say all the 3D that we see, Chittamatra says that there's no 3D. 3D is external reality. Chittamatra says there's nothing really as external. They're all coming from our own mind. It's just reflection, a form of reflection in our own mind. Chittamatra version is a little easy, but will be rejected by the Prasangika. Yes, Leroy?
I just wanted to ask for the meditation about the emptiness of the mind.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, now if you want to do the meditation of mind, tell me, which do you want to do? A, B, C? Choose. Huh?
ABC.
Which do you want to do? A or B or C?
What is A, what is B, what is
you don't know the difference between
We don't
What
know
it
ABC,
is.
so we cannot choose.
Or you can say what is A, what is B, what is C? Right? Okay. A is to see that the mind exists in time, and the time, you see that the time is illusion-like. So the mind which exists in time is also illusion-like. This is one way. The B is how our mind conglomerates, meaning how our mind combines together. How our mind combines together all these moments of the mind, and we then create a meaning. Actually, this mind, actually on the level of the mind, there's no such meaning as there. For example, I am unhappy, I am happy. These meanings are not really there. It's what we feel is just like an illusion. This is number two. Then number three is the regular version of the emptiness of mind. How we can see the emptiness of mind, the way we see the flowers empty. There are three versions. Which do you want to do?
B. B.
Huh?
B.
C.
We make both.
Okay, say the how many you want C? Raise your hands. C, 1, 2, 3. How many you want B? Okay, there is B. What is B, by the way?
How the mind creates all these different experiences and it combine it and make us
Okay.
Integrating moments.
Okay, that's easy. That's easy for me then.
What about A?
Okay, this is easiest.
Time.
This is easiest. Okay, let's do the easiest one now. Right? Okay. Okay, let's say. Ready? Right. Okay. This doesn't really require meditation. Right? It's very easy. Very easy. You don't really have to meditate. Right? You just get it. Once you get it, then you take hope and you meditate. Right? That's very easy. Okay. Say that. Okay. I am very here, gentlemen. Karen, okay. I am very unhappy. Okay, don't forget. I am very unhappy. You're getting it? Now imagine that you have been working so hard for 5 hours without food, without water. And then you feel so tired, you feel so hungry, and you feel so thirsty. And then the owner brings food and so forth after 5 hours. Right? And then there's a box, big box. In the box, you could hear some sound like this. From there, you can figure out that there's a human being inside, right? And then you're concerned. Just as we feel so hungry and thirsty, so the person inside also must be thirsty because this person was there in the 5 hours, right? And then you just bang the box and ask, "How are you?"
I am very
What did you hear? I'm very unhappy. So you feel so sorry. You break the box. You got in and asked, "Hey, are you unhappy?" You said, "No, I'm very happy. I just said I." Who said that I'm unhappy? Then you say, "Oh, maybe you." I just said am. Right? I didn't say who said it. I didn't say I'm unhappy. I just said am. That's my job. And you must be unhappy. I just read, right? And then I just said, who said that I'm unhappy? I just said I'm, right? Who said that I'm unhappy? Huh? Hey. Then?
happy.
No, be. I just be, and then this is my job. Right? Who said that I'm unhappy? Who said it? Then you just start doubting yourself. Oh, maybe it is like an illusion. It's like a hallucination, which I must be hallucinating, right? And then you check with Involved? Did you hear this? Somebody said, I'm unhappy? Yes. Right? And then Adrian, you heard that somebody said, I'm unhappy? Yes, I heard it. Right? You're not so sure. Again, you bang the boss and you ask, how are you? Are you okay?
I am very
Louder.
I am very
What did you hear? You invariably heard, somebody said, I am very unhappy, right? No one can deny this fact that somebody said, I am unhappy. You getting it? You cannot deny this fact. Okay. Now, but when you go there, nobody said it. Nobody said it, but somebody said it. How do you reconcile that? This is exactly what is happening in your mind, right? When you feel very unhappy, when you feel very sad, right? I'm very unhappy. You're saying this. Who's saying this? Your mind is saying this, your body is saying this. Your mind is saying it. And your mind, we said that I am very unhappy. It has 7 moments. I am very unhappy. There are 7 moments of the mind. And these 7 moments of mind, they do not arise simultaneously. They arise sequentially. You're getting it? The first moment of the mind, job is to say, I am finished, he left. When the first moment of the mind arises, the remainder of the mind yet to arise. Right? Then the second moment of the mind arises, and the first moment already left. The remaining moment yet to arise. Right? Second moment did not say that I'm unhappy. And then the second moment left, the job is done. Then third moment comes, there, and left. And fourth moment comes, left, happy, just left. No single moment of the mind said that I'm unhappy. And in fact, in terms of time, there was no I within this any moment of the time when you said that I am unhappy, right? But then I'm unhappy. This is what your mind, the self-grasping ignorance, it combines all these 7 moments together. Gives you the impression as though like you are feeling unhappy at one moment of the time, right? It gives a meaning. In actuality, right? In actuality, what you've really experienced is not really as an unhappiness. I am very. So this is how the mind conceives, right?
Like a picture made out of many points.
Exactly. So there is the many more interesting meditations, about the pictures and so forth, which we're not doing it here. Yes, Carmen, you have a question?
I was just wondering, this works very well when we're actually saying the feeling, okay? So I can really understand, because when I feel something, it's very difficult to break it into segments which are not the actual feeling, because for instance, I'd be sad for like 5 minutes. So in each segment I break, I'm feeling sad.
So it is
it's different sad, but it's still not a pleasant feeling. I don't know how to break it so that I don't find the unpleasant feeling there.
Okay, did you get the question?
Yeah.
What is your question? Your question is, I cannot break, or I don't know how to break.
I would like you to explain how to break it so that I can.
You don't know how to break it.
It seems that every time I break it, I still find the unhappy.
This is because you are superimposing the overall pain on the every moment. You getting it? Superimposing the overall pain, objectively see overall pain which you saw as object real. You're superimposing this on the individual moment. So for this, you need what? A very refined analysis, where you should be able to see the mind. In the mornings, the 2 mornings, yesterday and today, we did what? Impermanence meditation. Impermanence, two kinds. What are they? Course and cross impermanence, and the Subtle impermanence. What's subtle impermanence?
Changing moment to moment.
Change.
Momentariness, instantaneity, momentariness. So this momentariness, first we must learn how to see the impermanent, the composite phenomena as momentarily changing. This is first thing that we have to do. Right? If you don't have this exercise, then going directly into the mind, first of all, the mind is so weird phenomena. This is not a tangible object, right? This is very difficult. And then on top of that, we have no exposure to how to see the composite phenomena as moment by moment changing. So there are two jobs there. One, we have to see composite, for example, this flower, right? It's very beautiful, but actually initially it was just a seed, tiny seed. So this seed planted, and it took time to grow to this size. So how the time, and then it's not that say it took, if it took like say 10 days or 15 days. 15 days, it's not that for the 14 days it remained like a seed, and finally, oh, tomorrow comes the 15th day, then pop, right? No, it's not like that. Every day it has been growing. Every hour it has been growing. Every minute, every second, every millisecond it has been. Millisecond means the change happens so fast. So this you should be able to visualize. Instead, what is happening now, we see as a static. Okay, how does this flower appear to you? As static, or it's moving like this? How do you see this flower? As static. And look at the person, people around you also. Very static, not changing. Actually, this is illusion. We are seeing things that are so static and so fast. Even from the point of view of impermanence, this is illusion. What we are seeing is wrong. It's a deceptive. All composite things are moving so fast. This we have to have some experience. We have to reflect on, and then realize that yes, indeed, all composite things are moving so fast. Like this, right? One. Then number two. Number two is the number two is the pain. The pain, right? They say the mind, the pain or the mind. So this is what this mind is, what this pain is. Two. Then you bring these two together, because this moves so fast. What I see as a pain, right? What I see as a pain seems so real, a living pain. Yes, it's a living pain. It's a living pain. But what I'm really experiencing in a single moment is much, much, much briefer, much, much shorter than 1 millisecond experience. 1 millisecond experience, you cannot experience it. Right? But you still, yes, I'm experiencing something so real. So when you go to that level of the subtlety, millisecond change happening, right? Or then if you go there, then you will see that overall the flower disappears. Right? Likewise, the overall pain disappears, you will feel it. The moment you feel it, you'll feel the lightness when you are successful with the analysis. You getting it? Okay, so that's it. I'm extremely grateful to the dear five, Dhamma Friends of Israel. Dear Allah, thank you so much for your wonderful all your efforts, and it is your many years of effort that the Dhamma Friends of Israel remains so alive, and all the other volunteers who supported her since the conception of the Dhamma Friends of Israel. This is a great service to Dharma. There's great service to the humanity, sentient beings. I really appreciate all the efforts. And the volunteers here, and the Netam, the manager of this program, and also the Shaha, the manager of the early two programs, and overall in charge, Inbal. Thank you so much. And the Gilala, Gilala being the so kind from so many years, all these many years of our friendship. And then, the bulldozing me to come to Israel since that many years long. And then I remember Leon, And last year also, she was one of the Dorji retreat, the coordinator.